Have you ever asked yourself, why do I feel stuck? Maybe you've been asking it for a few days, maybe a week, or maybe you're in a period of life where it just feels stuck for a lot longer. Keep thinking that the answer coming to you, it's got to come to you. I'll read a book, I'll ask someone, I'll take a course, I'll get strategy from somewhere. But something that will finally reveal itself doesn't often happen because the clarity comes from connecting to who you are. Something that finally will reveal exactly what you're supposed to do next isn't here, and yet here, right now, you are. And we feel stuck. So I want to explore this with you today. I'm Laura Clark, purpose and vision alchemist, helping purpose-driven and self-leading women strengthen their own self-trust, reconnect with their wisdom, and create lives that feel more aligned, meaningful, self-fulfilling, so that their self-worth grows and they take more courageous action. This is another Mug Musing, and the Mug Musings are a place where we pause and we look at something just long enough to see it differently so that wisdom isn't learned, it's applied to our lives so that we grow and transform. And I'm choosing my dark black mug today because sometimes that's what it feels like to be stuck, right? Not just stuck in the mud of brown, but even black cement. Thought that was appropriate. So, what I understand from working with women over the course of time, that many feel stuck mean that they need clarity. They say, Laura, I just want the answer. I know it has to come. And they're looking for it over here under this or over here. They're looking for it everywhere. But it's not about the fact that they need the answer. Being stuck sometimes is about the lack of thinking that you're good enough, not having the confidence, not having the courage, and the knowing to have faith and trust in who you are. And it's caused by this lack of connection with yourself. We are deeply connected to our own sense of self-worth. And when we are that deeply connected and we know it, the next step is not always easy, but it becomes much more obvious because you have the confidence to know that. The challenge is that life has a way of pulling us away from ourselves. We get busy, we get distracted, start chasing goals that look impressive, don't feel aligned with who we are. And we wake up one day going, how did I get here? Why do I feel stuck in this place? When the deeper question might be, when did I stop knowing my own value? So think about a GPS. A GPS disconnected from the location. It can't guide you effectively. Not because it's broken, but because it doesn't have the right information to get you to the place it's going. That's the metaphor in our lives, right? We're not broken. It's just that we are disconnected from knowing where we're going or who we are. And I think many people will experience this very similarly. They're trying to determine where the next step is before they have a first understanding of where they are. They're asking, where do I go? What should I do? Instead of asking, what do I care about most? What really matters to me? And what feels most meaningful? So they keep going and searching in the direction while ignoring the GPS saying, take a right. And feeling stuck becomes the symptom and it's not the problem. The GPS in the car can go kaflooey. If you've had this happen, let me know in the comments below so that I don't feel alone because mine goes kaflooey every once in a while. It's the same thing with our own you-ness. If our GPS goes kaflooey, we get all flustered, right? And which way do I go? Which way do I go? And what we do with our car GPS is we stop. We take a moment and say, where are we going and why we're getting there? And we reprogram it and we proceed. the same thing in life. You have to stop and take a moment and know who you are and why the next step matters most. Then you reprogram your units through this reflection, and you get back in your own body and you start going again, just like your car's GPS. Another reason why you may be feeling stuck is that you're at a crossroads in life. We all have them. We all have them. I am in the middle of one right. And sometimes that makes people feel very stuck. As we explore it, as we take time and we allow ourselves to reflect, we discover that we're not really stuck. It's not that I can't make decisions about where I am right. It's that I'm at a crossroads. And I can go one way or the other, but I don't have enough information to make a conscious, courageous choice. I need to go inward, remind myself of my purpose in life and what really matters and what makes me feel fulfilled. And as I do that, I'm shining light on which path is going to be of the highest good for myself. This is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me. It's uncomfortable for anybody before we fully commit to another step. As humans, we avoid change and we don't like to be uncomfortable because crossroads require change. They require to feel uncomfortable and they require courage. You have to release something before you can fully know what comes next, right? It's like being on a trapeze where you're swinging and you're like, I got to let go. And is that bar coming and can I catch it? And this releasing of the bar might be releasing an old pattern. It might be releasing it might be releasing people. It might be releasing an identity that you've chosen to wear. And during this particular time, it can feel like nothing is happening. In my position right now today, it feels like nothing's happening. But I know because I've been at other crossroads in my life that something really is happening. And something is happening for you too when you're at a crossroads. When you take time and step into what matters most, you start realigning. You start letting things shed off of you. You start releasing and you start filling that void with what matters most. You're actually recalibrating for your highest good. And it happens because you're shining a new light on yourself and you're becoming really honest with yourself. And that is something to celebrate. And often growth looks like this before it becomes visible. And this is what mug musings are all about, looking at something a little differently and finding a new light. So hit subscribe to get notified of the next one so that the next new light of wisdom you will be able to see and hear. The last insight I want to share with you is that this deep knowing of ourselves is closer than you think. One of the big myths is that this deep knowing, otherwise known as purpose, is that it's hidden somewhere, like a treasure map or a destination. When I get there, I'll get it. Like something you get to discover, but only if you're worth. Ooh, ouch. But what happens is that for those who are on a personal growth journey, knows about purpose isn't something you find. It's something you remember. It's already leaving clues through what realigns you, what energizes you, what frustrates you, who energizes you, and who frustrates you, what keeps calling your attention, what breaks your heart, what lights up your passions, what are your values, and what is deeply meaningful for you. Finding purpose. I love supporting people to find their purpose and have this ability process to helping people find their purpose in a way they've never found it before. And what it is, it's like mining for gold. It takes a little time, takes a little patience, and it takes reflection. The problem is that when you're seeking the answer for now, instead of being curious enough to grab your shovel, get support, and start digging curiously into the mystery of who you are, is vital and it's important. Instead of wanting the answer, allowing yourself to go on the journey. So I've noticed this in my own life right now, in this place of crossroads for myself. I am going back to rudiments of my work. What's my purpose? What lights me up? Who am I? Because in answering those questions, I can solve this crossroads. I don't have to push harder. I don't have to create a better plan right now. What I need to do is connect with me. What I've learned is that the answer isn't always found in this doing more. It's found in becoming quiet enough to hear what's already trying to emerge. I wouldn't be at this crossroads. You wouldn't be at a crossroads if something wasn't trying to speak to you. And finding this is in that reflection. It's in journaling, sacred soul journaling. It's in nature. It's in listening. It's in paying attention to what matters most to and for you, and allowing that space for this to rise up so that meeting that crossroads is a challenge, but you know your own self-worth and you have confidence and courage to accept the first step on the path that you're choosing. See, wisdom isn't always absent. It's never. Simply that we're not taking time to hear it because it is uncomfortable and sometimes complicated and requires us to change. But if you're curious enough, it's an amazing journey to go on because you get to uncomplicate that crossroads, find greater peace and greater sense of fulfillment, the courage to take that step. So I'm curious, have you ever experienced this? Have you ever realized that what you thought being stuck was just actually a period of realignment for yourself? Right? Here's what I want you to reflect upon for that. Instead of saying, well, what's next? Which choice do I have to make? Ask yourself what feels most meaningful. What have I been ignoring? And dare I say, what have I been ignoring about what I want? It keeps trying to get my attention. And what about my self-worth matters in this situation? So the answer, judgment, pressure, no trying to fix it, just listening. Because sometimes the next step isn't hiding. Right? Sometimes we want to go under covers, but it's just asking you to become quiet. So there's an additional resource in the description that helps with this realignment if you want to go further. And remember, you are worthy. You just need to tap into that self-worth because it does reside. And wisdom isn't meant to be learned. It's meant to be lived. So sip on that, go out and live what resonates with you, and keep smiling, keep reflecting. And as always, make sure that you mug on.